Actually, Blacks was a much easier place to break into as far as the crowd and stuff goes because it was a beach break. You could sprawl out a little bit. But I started surfing wind and sea with, there was only one other woman who was surfing there when I started, and that was Debbie Beecham. Or her name was Debbie Melville back then. Mm-hmm. And I just, what I loved about that was you could get a perfect left and ride it all the way, and then you're in a channel. So you don't have to push through freezing white water to get back out or have your head frozen, So I just, I ended up, I found a really nice place in La Jolla right up from Wind and Sea, and my mom ended up moving out, and we shared that home for a long time.
What was the attitude like coming from East Coast and then feeling like there wasn't like a whole lot of difference, like you felt like as equal to like your brother, right? And then California must have been kind of a totally different vibe and totally different. Must have been a bit of a culture shock for you.
Yeah, that's where at first, yeah, especially at Wind and Sea, it's you don't tell them you're from the East Coast, but they you got to win their heart. Here's the deal. They just, and this is true at all the really famous good breaks. Like, you have to prove yourself, and also that what I didn't understand was the women. There weren't any women there. Like where's all the women surfing? Because I came from that hometown where it was at least 40-50% women, and I didn't understand that dynamic. That social dynamic just didn't really set in. So I had no idea I wasn't supposed to be there, and at first they have this. The place is like an arena, so the parking lot looks down on the break, and the break is like, I'm not even going to talk about the surf spot because it just get more people there, but it just, the guys up in the parking lot would be the drinkers, so they'd be up there and they'd kind of criticize everyone out surfing, right? So the way that I won their heart was I would let their friends, I'd take off deeper than them. I'd ride behind them. They'd take off on the shoulder on me, and I'd just go do some off the lips. I wouldn't hit them or anything like that, but they would go in, and then their friends up in the parking lot would make fun of them. You should have seen the girls surfing behind you. And so they got teased really bad, and that was the crew that you really wanted, on your side for sure. Yeah. Like some of those guys, they are like some of my best friends now, and we laugh about all these old times. And they always, they were like my big brother, because my big brother went off and got married, and it's like, what am I going to do now? I need a new big brother. So I found a bunch of big brothers at Wind and Sea, and we just had a contest on last weekend, and we still all do events together, and we still have that love. There's a lot of love now. I'm so happy to say that surfing's really evolved. The kids are doing so well. It's a family affair now. We help disabled children, not just, it's not just about white rich kids at all anymore. And not that I was not one of them, but everybody's evolved, because I noticed when those guys had their own daughters, they really softened up a lot, and they really wanted their girls to surf, because when they had to watch their kids, if they surfed, then they could surf. So it all worked out.
Totally true.
That's how that. Yeah,
it's funny how surfing. It's funny how surfing has been like circular, and like in Hawaii, it was all about the family, and it took mainland surfers to, and Australian surfers like a generation, to realize like, oh, it's okay, and it's cool that my daughter surfs, and it's funny how it's kind of come full circle in some ways to what tradition Hawaiian surf culture was.
we finally learned that the Hawaiians are right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, 100 years later, it's like, yep, okay, so they had it all figured out. And now we're realizing, like, I don't know if you know who Lauren Lindsay Hill is. She's married to Dave Rosterman.
Yes.
So they have a farm. So the whole thing, the Hawaiians not only had the social aspect, being one with nature, but they also had the whole food source and keeping, because this is our big challenge now. How are we going to save the world that we destroyed? And it's like, the answer is in those indigenous cultures. And I just got this book yesterday. I'm super excited about it. It's called She Surfs, and it's written by Lauren Lindsay Hill.
I want to get a copy.
Oh, I wish you could see it. It's just like, and she sent all these really cool little Australian things to me, and we've been communicating media-wise because she's an incredible media person, writer, filmmaker,
wonderful podcaster too.
Love her podcast. She just did
to her.
I worked with her. I reached out to her initially to get Lynn Boyer on the Water People podcast. And I sent one photo. And the photo I sent, it's like it's true, picture's worth 1,000 words. She got the photo and she was like, is this what? She goes, where is this from? And she goes, is this from a recent thing? I go, no, that's 1978. That's Lynn Boyer at Sunset Beach, and it's a shot Dan Merkel took when he was rebelling against the male media. And she's totally getting in the barrel on the inside West Peak.
Incredible.
And Lauren was so taken aback. I go, you want more? I got more. I sent her some more photos, and she's from Florida, you know? Yeah. So, you can always win over East Coasters where you give them, we're East Coasters. So now we got this thing. I sent, anytime I get a really good photo of a woman from back then, I'll send it to Lauren because I know she'll do something good with it. And what I would like to see happen is what I would like to do is form. It doesn't have to be a nonprofit, but it seems to be the easiest way to do things right now. Of women in media, sports media, surfing in particular would be our forte, where we historically document and save all these things, get it published, copyrighted, do the formalities so it's sealed in history, right? Yeah. I mean, otherwise it'll get lost again.
Absolutely.
It's like rediscovering this lost history, and like like when I watch like Girls Can't Surf, or when I just study, and look and find certain things, like I'm like, holy crap, there's all these incredible stories that are not being told or not being unearthed, and there are these incredible heroes' journeys and inspirational stories. Like yours in general is just so damn inspiring. Like,
thank you.
Really are like a hero of mine. Like it's awesome. Like, and you're like, dude, how this stuff needs to be out there, needs to be told more, because we are really our culture becomes much more richer for it. And I'm so tired of like this one narrative that we've been told for 50, 60 years, and there's so much more going on that I'm like blown away by, and finding all these alternate surf histories, basically.
Yeah, I thank you for the compliments. I feel incredibly blessed, but I feel more inspired by the stories of the people that I surrounded myself with, like Lynn, Becky Benson, her father, Colonel Benson. I don't know if you got to read that story. Yeah, like this dude, I had a totally different image of a father, and I was like, this guy, it was incredible, and just like, we can't forget about them, and this is my life goal right now, is to make sure that this gets done, gets at least a really good start, I'm just getting started. This getting Lynn this award. I want to band together with you guys. I want us all to work together.
We're here.
This.
We're ready. Signing up. Signed up.
Yeah. So here's what I got for you. You're not going to make any money. The same old thing.
That's
the men
totally
will take all the,
It's like surfing.
Yeah.
Guess what? We don't make any money now doing this. So.
Yeah. What's the difference? Yeah.
We lose
We're
money.
going to have a lot of fun and meet a lot of great people.
Exactly. Actually, there's so many surfers whose stories haven't been told. One that I'm so intrigued with learning more, and it seems so elusive. Joey Hamasaki's story. And are there other surfers that you could think of whose stories just you are not out there, that you just it like hurts you that their stories aren't out there,
There's
in addition to the ones that you've mentioned, like whose stories really do you feel like, man, we really need to know more about this person, especially your own experience with that person, and maybe some of the things that what is already documented doesn't really express in terms of the depth of their backstories and their histories and lives.
Exactly. That's I just saw a piece that was written about Joey Hamasaki.
New SJ.
Just yesterday. It's
oh wow.
I think it's on With It Girls. The With It, was it the With
With It also, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and then it was there's a lot of young women coming up through college in like Northern California that are media going for media. Actually, I have one sitting, my engineer here, Casey. She's also from New Jersey, so we won't hold that
Casey.
She actually
shout out to Casey.
Yes, definitely shout out. You want to? Can she say hi? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure, of course.
Okay, say hi, Casey. Come on into the frame. We're gonna let the young folks take over for a second.
Hey, Casey.
Hey,
Hi.
Casey, good to meet you. Thanks for helping out here.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of your podcast. I actually host one myself called The Traveling Mermaid. New podcast.
Awesome. Oh, let's give a plug out here. Let's give a shout out. Come on, listeners, go follow that.
Thank you.
No, well, we're psyched. I mean, anytime we get people who are from New Jersey, New York, or as I like to call it, the armpit of the U.S., like we're stoked.
Yes.
to meet.
Yes, I'm stoked, but I hate it there, and I'll never go back.
No, really?
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Is it the cold or is it the people?
The cold, this women's surf culture is very minimal. I'm from Monmouth
Really?
Beach, so
nice.
Central, and yeah, it was just me and my sister growing up, who is 7 years younger than me. So it was just me for a while.
Wow.
Oh, you got to come up next time. You come up to Rockaway at least, and it's like another world.
Really? My dad is from Rockaway as well, actually.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Total East Coaster.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's spotty. I mean, it's interesting hearing Sandy's stories because it seems a lot, it's like to see what happened through the generations and the evolution of surfing in communities, and how even like the professional world and the media and all that kind of helped to shape this other culture and phased out like this beautiful utopia that she just described, this sparkly utopia. And then to your generation, when you're coming up, to this other kind of edge of surfing in Jersey. And, hopefully, in the next few years, it comes back around, because there are a lot of Grom girls who are just shredding, coasts everywhere. So I just think it's just going to change everywhere. It really is.
I agree for sure. And surfing in New Jersey is a whole other beast, I think. To be a good surfer, I think you gotta get in the water every day. And surfing in New Jersey in the water every day is one hell of an experience. I mean, like, I would make myself I had 154, and I would make myself put it on every single day until I was good. And my first surf trip I ever went on was by myself when I was 15 to Costa Rica. And I had never been out of the country. I had surfed New Jersey, and I also grew up surfing Hatteras in North Carolina. And
wow.
I remember paddling out and I was like, wow, surfing's way easier here. I mean, the beach breaks in New Jersey are just awful.
Well, they thump really hard and they're pretty unforgiving, and it's like